rolling deep just like a caller. Never worked a day in his life, roadster. Must be a
Hi guys, yeah, just come to one of the properties that we just purchased by auction.
just like a caller.
This one here, I'll show you around.
Must be a drug dealer.
Yes, I'm a typical now. Started from the bottom, in my nest and my car. Now I'm rolling deep in my beamer. Cashed off whips, not finance like a Gouda. I'm a straight up cooler. Many think that I'm a drug dealer. Others tend to think that I'm chopping up ringers. M5s, M3s, I've had everything you could dream of.
Check her out now in a beamer. Rolling deep just like a caller. Never worked a day in his life, roadster. Must be a drug dealer. Check her out now in a beamer. Rolling deep just like a caller. Never worked a day in his life, roadster. Must be a drug dealer.
Too many burnouts in my E46. Running low on tread, now I need new grips. So I hop in the M5, no lie, it's a toy that I can't resist. 500 brake when I hit the M power switch. Drifting in and out of streets, you should see how it kicks.
So yeah, as you can see, it's a 2-bedroom house, terraced house. Now, bought by auction for about 27,500. I mean the going rate on these worth about 40, 45. So yeah, not a bad buy.
I'm talking about the buttons on my feet, man, who different. But he likes it hard, man, shoot
Hi guys, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Rafiq and I'm here to document my journey and share with you guys how it's been like over the past month throughout this lockdown. Now there's a lot of yous out there that are thinking of getting into property, not had the time, have actually done the research, but just thought we don't know where to start, what to do and how to go about it. Don't worry, I was at that stage as well. I mean, I've managed to secure 5 deals, deal sourcing, selling the properties on to other investors. You know, if I can do it, you can do it. There's a lot of yous out there that are thinking, what do I do? How do I get into property? What do I need to do? There's a lot of content out there on YouTube. There's a lot of people telling what they've done, but not everyone documents the journey, how they've done it, what they've done and things like that. So I'm hoping I can help you guys, inspire those that are wanting to get into property, and just give as much information as I can to help you. I'm not a property expert, I'm just telling you what I've been through and how I've done it. So a couple of weeks back I did research on my area. Now the key thing is you've obviously got to do research on the area that you want to invest in. Sometimes it's a case of looking local. I mean, you might find properties that are local in your area. So I went further ashore, started speaking to family and friends, people that I know, places that I'd worked in the past, what I'd done, and just started connecting with people and find out what's happening, what the area is like, what's going on. So the area that I chose, I looked for certain things in that area. Things like, is there a hospital there? Is there a university there? How's the public transport like? If there's a regeneration in the area, what's coming into the area? What's new? What's happening? Get an understanding. I mean, that research couldn't be done by you going into the area, spending a bit of time. It might be that you've got to drive out, spend a day there, spend a few weeks driving backwards and forwards, analysing the area, walking up and down the streets, getting a feel for the area of what's there and what's not. So a couple of weeks back I thought, I need to do this. I can't sit back. I mean, how long can you sit behind a computer and just analyse information and just do research and research and research? Because you're going to think to yourself, I'm not ready, or I'll do it next week, I'll do it next month, or wait, pandemic, current lockdown, can't go out, can't do anything. I mean, the estate agents are open when I was doing viewings. So I went went through a few of the properties, sat down. I mean, I might even do another video on how I found properties on Rightmove. I mean, leave a comment and I can do that for you, no problem. So I went into Rightmove, started looking at the properties that were available, narrowed my searches down into what properties have been on the market, how long. And the main thing is to start making the calls. But I just got on there, put myself forward, got on the phone to the estate agents, explained to them what I'm doing, what it is, what I'm looking for. You know, building that rapport with the estate agents. The key thing is to be able to communicate and build a good relationship with the estate agents, because they are the ones that will be getting you deals or can pass you on to people that are looking for deals, or even you can get sometimes direct to vendor deals. So I'd found one property on Rightmove, called up the agent, explained to him what I'm doing, what I'm looking for, got some general information on the property itself, and said to the lady, I want to book a viewing. So I went down to my area, which was about an hour and a half from myself, and thought I'd go out, view the property. So what I did was, before I actually went to do the viewings, I narrowed down a few properties that I wanted to view. So I had about 5-6 properties that I wanted to view that day. So I tried to group block them instead of doing one property going out. You know, however you want it to be, you can't go out one day and come back and go again. What I tend to do is I tend to group block the viewings. So I ring up to the estate agent, I say such and such property, I want to make a viewing for it, I'm in the area on this day, is it possible for me to view it at this time? So I put that into my diary, so it was 2 o'clock. Then I ring up the next estate agent, this is the property I want to view, can I view it at this time? So I tried to do say like 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, just to give me enough time to get around. So I decided to go out and view the properties, and I'll show you some of the footage that I recorded on the day on some of the properties that I view. So the big day came when I had to go out and do the viewings. So 7:30 I set off. It was an hour and a half journey. Got there for about 9 o'clock. Went to my area that I'd chosen, drove around the streets, parked up, started walking around the streets just to get a bit of a feel of the people that are living there, what's happening, what's going on, what's around, the shops, things like that, which is very important. You want to look at bus stops, nearest train stations, what's the town centre like. You know, there's a lot of things that you have to take into account. How far was the university? How far was the hospital? So a lot of these things that you need to do your research on before you actually go out. So time came to do the viewing. First viewing, went in, gentleman was there, opened the door, had a walk round. So I'll show you some of the footage of that. Hi, good morning everyone. How are you doing today? Just thought I'd come on. I'm actually on my way to find some direct to vendor deals. It's bright and early, it's 7:30. I've got an hour and a half drive to my destination. As you can see, I'll swing you around. We get there for about 9 o'clock. So hi guys, as discussed with you guys earlier, we're actually out looking at the streets. As you can see, there's a lot of houses behind me, you know, that are boarded up. So it's always a good idea, you know, to either knock on, drop a letter through, and see what you can get. This is an example. Windows broken. You know, some streets are quite bad, like this seems like a bit of a deserted street, but some of the streets on the main road, they're actually good. So I'm just going to swing you around. So yeah,
comes back to sort of doing a bit of research, you've got to be hands-on on the ground to actually be able to see what it's like around the area. So yeah, we'll be looking at another few properties and I'll sort of walk you through.
Went through the second viewing, third viewing, went to the other 4, and 5th had done my viewing. Now there was a few other areas that I wanted to look at, and I thought, right, okay, whilst I'm here, I don't want to be driving back an hour and a half and then coming back the next day. So I decided to check into a hotel. Checked on bookings.com, found a cheap hotel that was available last minute, and decided to check in for the night. So at this point started doing all my notes, writing down what I'd seen, you know, what I'd done that day, to get a general idea of what the market was like and what's available there. Had some other viewings, went to another area, hadn't planned this. So what I decided to do was go in to see an estate agent. So how that came about was, drove into the area, walked up and down the street. You never know who you're going to bump into, who you're going to see. White car parked outside, thought, right, great, this is a builder in the area, let's approach him and see what he does, what is he doing here. So went up to the guy, he was about to drive off, stopped him and said, hi, I'm an investor looking for properties in the area. So he gave me general information, what he does, and the property that they were working on. So I said to him, is it possible for me to have a look at the work that you're doing in the property? He said, yeah, no problem, sure. So we went inside, had a look at the work, showed me around what he does, gave me an idea on refurb, cost like that, and he said this is for an investor from down south. So he said we actually manage the properties and we do all the maintenance work. So the key was to be able to get this person's information, telephone number, card. So I said to him, please can I have your card? So he provided me with his card. So that was a good start, where you want to be able to build your power team. You want to be able to have a team on board where you can ring someone whether it's a deal that you've packaged for someone or it's a deal that for yourself you want to keep. But just to get a power team, you've got to go out and find these people, or word of mouth or recommendation. So as I came out that property, what further down, seen a few boards, rang up one of the estate agents. Hi, such and such, in the area, I'm an investor looking for properties. I've seen that you've got one on there, and she said it's actually sold. So right, is it possible for me to come and have a chat with you? She said, I'm actually out on viewings, I can be back in the office for about an hour. So I said, that's fine, great. Whilst I'm here, might as well make the most of it. So as I went to the estate agents, sat down, explained what I do, what I'm looking for. Now we'd gone through pricing. I'd asked her what the market's like in the area, which areas are good, which areas are bad, general information, what the rental market's like. So you can get a lot of information just by speaking to the estate agents. You'd be surprised what information you will get. They had a lot of boards in there, and I walked around. I said, oh, well, I can see this board, you've got this property, you've got that property. And she was like, you know, with the lockdown we haven't managed to change the boards. So as I was about to leave, I said, would you have any of the properties that might be available in the area or that are going to be upcoming, or any landlords that are selling? And guess what? She said, I've got 2 properties that are available. I've not marketed them on the open rent on Rightmove or Zoopla. And I was like, great, now is the chance to get that deal, get it sorted as soon as possible. So she gave me the figures. These properties were very cheap, so I know already after doing my research what the houses are worth. And she said once it's done up, it's worth this much. So straight away took the details down of the property. You know, I said I can drive by. She said I can't do any viewings today, she don't have the keys. Now drove down, had a look round. You know, the house is outside, and you know, everything seems fine.
So yeah, just to give you a bit of a rundown, as discussed earlier, the house that the agent offered us, 2 properties. This is one of the properties here, as you can see. You know, we've been offered these 2 properties, so we thought we'd come down and obviously view it from outside, and see what obviously the condition is. It's a good property. I mean, it's you know, currently empty at the moment. It's got you know, double glazed windows, PVC. There's obviously the back space to it. As you can see, it's a corner property. So yeah, you know, she's already gives a price on it, so we've got a bit of an indication of what the price is going to be, which is good. So yeah, we'll you know, go see the other property and sort of take it from there. So yeah, just to give you an indication, you know, one street is always a bit rough, messed up. You might see something that's cheap, but it's all messed up. But then the other streets, as you go around, you know, they're all right. You've just got to basically walk up and down the street, get a bit of an idea of what it's like, and you'll have a feel. I'll just spin the camera around, gives you an idea. Look, this street's all right, compared to the other streets. So it gives you a bit of an indication of an idea of what the area is like, what the street's like. So yeah, just another tip for you to take into account when you're looking for properties. Get out on the road, have a walk around, have a feel of the area, what's around, the houses boarded up, broken, smashed. Even stop and chat to someone, you know, it'll give you a bit of an idea. So yeah, stay tuned.
refurbishment. So I said that's no problem, because I've got investors that'll be happy to buy the properties. So that was 2 deals that I'd got just by going into the estate agents, and that's without looking anywhere on social media, looking on the internet sites, open market or anywhere. This is just by going into the estate agent. Now the 2 deals that I got from the estate agents, I've managed to package them up and sell them on to an investor. So I put the information up, social media, spoke to a few people, put the word out that there's 2 properties that are available that have not gone to market, and you'll be surprised the people that are interested. So I just want to go through with you one of the properties that I found on the auction site. So as I was doing my research on Rightmove, I came across one of these properties that were going for auction. So I thought, right, great. I've never bought a property through auction, so this was the first time. As you know, with all the COVID and the lockdown, the auction houses are closed, so they're only doing online. Now there was no pictures for the property, so I had not seen the property, so I thought, it is a gamble, not. But sometimes in life you've got to take that gamble. You don't know, it might pay off, it might not pay off. So I thought, right, okay, the worst is I get the property, I buy it, I rent it out. But this one already had a tenant in stew. If I won the auction, there was already a tenant that was paying a monthly rent, so which was great. To package that up and sell on to an investor, they'd be happy because they'd be getting rental income from day one. And I'd had local estate agents, and I'd had a few builders details, so I could say there's estate agents in place to manage it. There's also a building team. If you need any maintenance, we can get that sorted out. We can put you onto the people. So those are the key things that an investor is looking for. There's got to be a good maintenance team in the area, your power team some call it. You've got to have someone that can manage the property for you. Yep, you will be paying a fee for it, but it saves the headache of an investor, someone that lives out of town. So for example, someone lives in London and they've got a property up Scotland. Someone rings up the tenant saying, there's an issue with the boiler, there's a leak, whatever reason it is. You're not going to drive 5-6 hours, whatever, to get there, look for local builders, and then spend the whole day running around to go back. This way you could just ring up the estate agents who's managing your property and say, hey, such and such property, there's this issue, please can you get it sorted? And the estate agents will already have a power team in place. They can just ring up and send someone out to the property. So that was good that I had that already. The research had been done and I already gathered that information. So anyway, the day came for the auction. So I got onto the computer, signed in, eagerly awaiting for this lot to come up. And the time came for the auction. So I started bidding, and I thought, right, this is the maximum bid that I'm going to go to. I'd reached that bid. And the other person was at the same point, he'd bidded a little bit extra. And I thought, what I can do is I can bid £500 extra, and that's going to be the most that I'm going to do. I actually won the bid. The property got sold for £27,500. This is a property which is a 2-bed terraced. It already had a tenant in place that was paying a rent of £450 per calendar month. Great. I was over the moon. I was chuffed, and I thought, I've just bought my first property. So anyway, it was a Thursday, and then the next morning, Friday, I get an email from the auctioneers asking for the deposit and their fees. So I put the word out, got this property for sale. I knew what I wanted to get for it. So we had a few offers from a few people that were interested, few investors, got the word out. I might do another video on where you can get investors, how you can source investors. But the key thing was to be able to get stuff sorted out. So this property came along, and I'd bought it. I'd been speaking to some local people that were interested in properties, that are investors from out of town and locally, and I found an investor that was willing to buy the property for 37,000. Now either I could have bought the property and kept it for myself, but I knew I wanted to deal package this and sell it on to an investor and make a profit. So what is deal packaging? That's something that I will go through on a different video. Just put that in the comments and I can cover that for you. And there was an investor from London that wanted to buy this. He said, I'll pay you 37,000 for it. I thought that's great. So obviously there's a few people involved. So the key thing is, sometimes you've got to work with other people to make money. So if it means that you're a deal source, so you can co-source with someone else or do a deal and get someone else to package it and sell it on. They might have the investors and you might not have it. At some point you might have a property. Now with my case, I had the property and I wanted to obviously turn it around as soon as possible. So I said to them, look, this is the property, give them the details. Now I sourced the deal, I paid for the deposit, but when it came to the buyer, I'd already had a buyer in place. So I passed on the deal directly to them. Now we got offered £37,000 for this property, which we'd bought via auction for 27,500 plus the fees on top. So I thought, great, smashed it. You know, this is quite simple and quite straightforward. Just by taking that step and going out, taking the time out to do the research, to go out, explore, book viewings, meet people. It's all about contacts, it's about who you know. But if you're in a new area and you don't know a lot of people, you've got to build that relationship with people. So basically it's deal packaging a property. You get the deal, you source it, you secure it, you have a buyer, and you take your commission out of it. With this one, there was a few people involved with the deal. So we all made a nice little profit out of it. But just to let you know that it is possible and you can do it on your own. And I've had the money paid for the deal sourcing fees that I charge. Some I source myself, some I work with someone, we manage to sell them. Because not everyone can do everything. Like there's a lot of investors that have got the money but haven't got the time to do the research or don't know how to do it or how to analyze a deal. There's a lot of people that have the knowledge, can analyze a deal, find the right property, but they don't have the money. So you've got to work with the people to be able to make it a win-win for everyone. You're happy, the landlord's happy, the buyer's happy. So sometimes you get deals that you can sell on yourself. Sometimes it's good to work with someone to make a little bit of money. You know, every penny counts. At this moment of time, especially with the lockdown, whatever you can get your hands on, you know, by all means go for it. So the thing is, get your research done, make them phone calls, get them bookings done, get them viewings made, pictures, videos, whatever you can do on the day. So it's just getting the investors, building your investor list, so as you get properties you can sell the deals on and make a nice profit out of it. You know, but the key is, now is the right time to make that move. If you're a student looking to invest into property and things like that. I'll be doing a lot more content in the coming weeks. So if you're starting out in your property journey and you don't know what to do, what strategies you want to, you know, follow or do, comment below and I'll try covering some of them for you. Thank you very much and stay tuned for the next episode.
You're listening to
Baby
Timeline.
line, check her out raw in a beamer, rolling deep just like a caller. Never worked a day in his life, roadster. Must be a drug dealer. Check her out raw in a beamer, rolling deep just like a caller.